everyone. Assalamu alaikum. So, we are going to have a panel discussion with faculty members who have joined us from Forman Christian College, Lahore University, from Lahore College for Women University, University of Management and Technology, and Beacon House National University. So, the title of our panel is Disrupting and Consolidating Communication Research Voices from Pakistan. So, in this panel discussion, we are going to talk about what are some concerns, what are some perspectives related to communication research happening in Pakistan. So, I would like to begin with the first question from our first panelist, Dr. Altaf here, and my first question is related to how can we improve the quality of research that we are conducting in Pakistan.
Thank you, Dr. Farasat, and thank you everybody for being here. Being a minority has its perks. This is one of it. I'll just tell you when I was doing my master. This was back in 1988 when I got admission at the University of Peshawar, and this was our first batch. And there was a subject mass communication. So there was nobody to teach it, and Department of Psychology used to teach it. And Professor Ali Ahmed, he was a very famous professor at psychology. He allowed me to attend his class. And I went there, and there was one guy sitting, and there were kind of more than 20 girls. And I asked him that whether the guys are on leave today, the boys. He said, just keep quiet. Like, I'm only the only male student over here. There are 25 girls. So we are in minority. Just be on your guard. I'm not being on my guard since I am amongst friends. But Dr. Firasat, Dr. Fazl Rahim Khan he died recently. A wonderful academic. I think one of the worthiest communication professors in Pakistan, who initiated what we call quality research. Well, we did start doing good research, honestly, when I see. We didn't have access to literature, which we still don't have because of the online access. We can find stuff, but still we are far behind the rest of the world to have access to good research. But one of the problems that we are facing is the higher education insistence on a number of publications in certain journals, which really forces us to tailor our research according to the publication guidelines of those journals. And this has really halted our work. Besides the intellectual debate, I would just, for starters, I will just focus on the process. Like, if you write a book and you are an editor, and there are contributions, a book chapter is far better than research articles to me. A monologue is good, but a book chapter really brings in academics from every part of the world or from within the community. And then you do this effort. It takes 2-3 years to write a book. What do you get? Nothing.
Now, like to move to Dr. Anjum Zia with the same question that Dr. Bushra was responding to. So, how would you respond to this concern of over reliance of our methodological approaches to, US dominated models? So, how would you respond to that question?
Dr. Farasat, first of all, I would like to appreciate your effort to organize this particular conference, and you have working for together the academia and the journalist at one platform. That's great. And secondly, Dr. Fazl Rahim, I have very few times I can have the chance to meet him, but he's a gem of a person, and he worked for the research. And he was, I must say that he was a true researcher, because I myself learned so many things from him. When I was working on my MPhil thesis, I met him and he guided me a lot. So I'm really thankful to him, and may Allah provide him a high rank in Jannah. Thank you. So your question, as Dr. Altaf said, he's very right, because when we started our career at that time, research was not a passion. Research was not that much of have importance. When I started my career, at that time, there was you can say, the concept that we should come up with new books to create knowledge, to transfer information, and to provide the knowledge to the newcomers. So I started working on book. I introduced at that time. I published first dictionary, first ever dictionary of Pakistan, particularly on mass communication. Then I worked for the chapterization to publish chapters in different national and international books. So after 10 years, or maybe after, yes, in 2005, we have realized that HEC was focusing on particularly the research articles, and they are not focusing on research chapters published in international or national books. They don't have any focus. They didn't have any focus on books. So at that time, I was really confused what to do. So I shifted my focus from books and chapter towards the research articles. And again, I would say that HEC, although it is working for the improvement, it is working for the excessive to produce, we should produce excessive research, and their focus is on impactful research, yes. But in initial stages, I think so that we have wasted a lot more our time in such procedural problems, that your books are not recognized in the way you have published. The international chapters, they were not basically recognized, and then you at that time, I was thinking about what I was doing. I was wasting my time. And afterward, I start writing in research journals. Then there was another problem, that they categorized different journals after some time, maybe in 2008, I think so. Z, Y, and X, and prior to that, there wasn't any categorization. So what you have done before 2010, that was all wasted. So I think so the generation of the people who are from my generation, they all have faced such problems. So so I want to say that our environment, our bodies, institutions, and even the higher education, at that time, it was not, their behavior, their role was not encouraging. Afterward, there was a rat race, that you have to produce articles because you are not able to get the promotion then. So it may be good for the newcomers, but not for the people like us who have spent maybe 10, 15 years, or maybe more than that, in the field. But everyone is entered in this race, and we were like trying to publish articles in at least in Y category. So the research work which has been maybe because I never feel that my research work was not of any value. It had the value. That's why everyone is now in this stage. They are quoting it, or they are giving the reference of that research articles, which are available online or available in the libraries. But I think so because of this procedure, we have suffered a lot. That may be.
Who should we blame here then?
I think that the procedure, who is the custodian of the procedure, definitely. I had a long debate, and many times, not one time, with HEC. You should not apply everything to the people who are in the field for the last so many years. There should be a difference between that for the newcomers or the old one. But they said no, that means we are going to start a Pandora box then. So I always say, I said to them that yes, you are here to open that Pandora box, but they were not ready for that. So we then focused on quantity instead of quality. Because when you are in a position that after sometimes you are going to, you may not be in your job, and you are not getting the next grade. So that is the frustration. And that frustration definitely is still prevail in our teachers who are nowadays, they are working. The same is happening. Everyone is behind the number of articles should be published in research journals, whether it's Y, it's X, or W. You have to complete the number. So this is very discouraging attitude. Research, basically, what I believe, research is a passion. It should be done with a passion, but your job requirements, your duties, because of these, you cannot find for that time for that. And sometimes you definitely you feel like not ashamed, but you feel that feel the misery you have faced. کہ اتنی مشکل سے یہاں پہنچے. Now I never, most of the time I see that what I have done was accurate, that was have worth, and it should be read by everyone, because I am the only person, I'm the first person who introduced cable television networks research in Pakistan. I was the pioneer. So until now, people are giving reference if they are working on any type of satellite channels or maybe the cable television channels, they have to quote me. This is a big satisfaction for me, that I am living in the research body of research. Thank you.
Dr. Sehrish, Dr. Anjum has alluded to a difficult situation that we are having in the country. So we have a system where unfortunately professors have become paper producing factories. No offense to anybody, I'm myself a professor. So what do we do here? We have a system, HEC wants numbers, we all have jobs, we all promotions, and promotions give us raises. So we are in this situation. So what do we do to engage in what do we do here to engage in a system, or to write our research in a way that is not only academically rigorous but is also institutionally supported? I know it's a difficult question, so how would you respond to that?
Before responding to that, what I'll like to say is that what kind of research or what type of research currently we all are doing. There is three types. The one that our MS, BS and PhD students are doing, and they do it for their degree. Then we, the faculty members, we are doing it, and we are doing it mainly for the promotions. Then there is a third type of research. Some of our scholars in Pakistan, but mainly they are located in foreign universities. They are working there, and they have some links here in Pakistan. They are doing some impact factor publications, but they are only handful. And what kind of publications they are doing? It's a niche that they have found that, okay, fine, I can get published in international and reputed journals in these topics, so I must work in only these topics, because as Dr. Bushra said, that we are not contributing to the knowledge internationally the way we should. We all know our limitations. These limitations, they are from the because of the methodology also. They are because of the lack of institutional support also. They are definitely because of the fact that our institutional policies, they keep on changing. Last year, the Scopus was okay for publication. HEC allowed it. This year, Scopus is nowhere. It's not even in X. It's not even in Y. And don't ask how can it actually become W. So these changes in policy, it actually puts us in a back foot, and we cannot produce the kind of research that we all want to do. The number two thing besides this type of research that we all need to ask ourselves, am I a scholar? Because not everyone can do the research. This is the first thing that we need to identify. And it does not mean that the person who is not a researcher, he should not be the part of the academia. Of course, we need the people who are the professionals. We need the people who have professional exposure and who can bring our student to that level where they can work with the industry and they are useful member or contributor of the professional industry. If we find those people who have both, they are the researcher plus they are the professionals, then definitely it is a combination that every dean, every HOD must be looking for. But they are rare in cases. You will have to have both types, the researchers and then the professionals, and then try to find the ways to do the research and put them together. I mean, currently we are living in academic silos. We are mass communication researchers. We are not contributing and we are not integrating interdisciplinary research, and we are not doing it because our system does not allow it. We all have been approving our MS and PhD topics, and we know that how difficult it is to get approvals from ASRB's Advanced Board of Studies, any topic which has anything interdisciplinary, because they don't get it. They don't know, okay, this comes under psychology, why you are focusing so much on psychology? This comes in under education, why you are focusing on education? This comes under computer sciences, why you are doing that? This is not your field. So probably we need to have some real radical changes. The real radical changes, first of all, how can we actually do it? We need to do it first within our discipline, within our experts. Lastly, I saw that HEC revised again the curriculum, and there were, of course, people from all over the Pakistan. They were doing it. It's a very good thing. Curriculum must be revised again and again. They, we experts must be invited for the other policies also when they make the promotion. As Dr. Anjum, she has definitely, many of us even in this generation have these grievances that the promotion policy, it actually makes us do the things that we don't want to do it. Maybe I want to do a research that I want to publish only one article in 2 or 3 years, and I want to do a good quality work. Then we also want to make sure that research is only not only the research article. It's so many. I mean, the thesis that I'm producing, if I am making my students do the quality work, but ultimately I don't transform it into a publication due to so many structural or the personal issues, then where that research is going? Here comes the question of how do we want to promote our every type of research that I said to the next level, to the next platform. And for that, I guess we need to have those consortium that can negotiate with the HEC also. You have AMCAP, it's a very good thing, and the doctoral school that you are doing, and even this ICA regional hub. Of course, this is a learning for us. But out of this learning, how we can take this learning to the profession? I mean, what Mr. Raza Rumi was saying, that there is a gap between the policymakers and the academia. It's not only the policymakers and the academia. There is a huge gap between the academia and the professionals. I guess no journalist knows what we are doing. And this is not because they don't want to read. We have never tried to actually, access them. We bring them in our conferences, and they do give us some really good talk and stuff. But what we do, we are unable to communicate to them. So the consortia like the AMCAP, these kind of platforms, they can actually go ahead and we all can be the part of that, where we are not only revising our curriculum, but we should revise our promotion policies. We should introduce 2-3 tracks simultaneously, where we can talk about that, okay, these are the professional people, they must be evaluated in this way. These are the people who must be evaluated by their research. These are the people who can be evaluated by both. So we can actually find a criteria which is all inclusive rather than exclusive for only few people. And then coming to the one point where you were saying that Mr. Fazal said that our research is more dominated by positivist approach rather than critical and paradigm. There are two problems. Even if we are doing, unfortunately, the positivist research, we are not maintaining that rigor that is required, because if we do the survey, what kind of sampling procedures we adopt? We go for the convenience, we go for the purposive sampling, and then our research, it actually becomes unacceptable. But then we need to realize that this is one of our limitations. We cannot actually go for the simple random or the systematic sampling, because we don't have any data available to do that kind of sampling. So how as a discipline we actually can come up and find the solution to these? And then research, whether it is critical, whether it is interpretive, or whether it is positive, if it's of quality and if it's have impact and it goes where it is needed, it will be a good research.
Thank you so much, Sehrish. We can now open the floor for Q&A. But before we move to question and answer, Sehrish has alluded to some really good, maybe corrective measures for the conferences, especially the conference experiences that we have been having lately. For past 2 years, we have observed this trend that conferences have created a sort of, I'm sorry if I've excuse my language, this halabaloo where people usually go taking selfies. So how do we actually discourage this selfie culture? And I mean, selfies are not bad per se, but people just go like meet other people, take selfies. And how do we make these experiences meaningful? And to my mind, and how these conferences, they do not translate to, you know, increased publication or maybe quality publication. And well, to my mind, well, maybe there are two problems. Number one, the language barrier, which is real for majority Pakistani scholars, and another is, to my mind, lack of focus on academic writing. I usually come across really brilliant, innovative ideas in research. However, when it comes to actual writing, we do not see any presence of those ideas in writing. And to my mind, that's because of. So anybody from the panel can answer, and with that, we'll be moving to Q&A.
میں اس سے پہلے ایک سہرش کا جو تھا ایکچولی ان 2015 when I came back after postdoctorate, the HEC policy was that you have to publish articles only. Then I tried for my faculty, because there are some people who are doing productions, and I did a lot for them. With HEC, I wrote to them, I had meetings with them that our work should be recognized, which is produced by maybe the documentaries or short films or whatever they are producing, because they are the equally important part of the faculty and they should be credited for that. And some of my faculty members, they were not ready to even register for PhD. So how they can be promoted then? So I did a lot for that, and I tried to contact some of the professors, and at 1 year I realized that no professor at that time who achieved that level, that they are the professor of media and communication, they were not ready to support, and this is unfortunate. Secondly, HEC was not ready to change the pattern. They said, okay, adopt the pattern of the fine arts. You move your discipline to that particular faculty, then you can have the facility. So then I left that. So because آخر میں انہوں نے مجھے کہا بی پی تسی کار جاؤ, تسی کنی وری آئے ہو, کوئی ہے کچھ جو ان کا جو کلرک تھا, ہی سیڈ ٹو می. میں نے کہا نہیں ہوا. کہتے پھر گھر جاؤ سکون کرو. میں نے کہا لیکن میری فیکلٹی یہ کیسے پروموٹ ہوں گے؟ اس نے کہا کہ چھوڑو, وہ کر لیں گے اپنے آرٹیکلس پیسے دے کے. تو دیٹ واز دا اپروچ. پھر کہاں ریسرچ آئے گی؟ اور passionate researcher, sorry to say, youngsters maybe we cannot find.
There is always this question of structure and agencies. I mean, we can blame the structures all the time and say because of structures we cannot make a change, but at the same time we should not undermine the agency. So when there is a will, there is a way. And having said that, I want to respond to your question. You know, when we, I mean, 10 years back, there was hardly any communication conference culture. And we were going everywhere and we were doing our networking with international scholars, and always back of the mind we would say, we are meeting everyone outside, but when it comes to Pakistan, we hardly know each other. So I feel that, you know, in communication research, these conferences have played a role that now today you are talking about moving forward from that particular thing. So the first step was of meeting, of knowing each other. We didn't know even that Lahore ke andar dusri university ke andar departments mein kya ho raha hai. At least that culture has developed now in the last 10 years. Very humbly, we sort of, MCAP started off, of course it's not it's the teamwork that was there. And I mean, now, mashallah, say today when I came and I saw people from all over the country, and it is very, very heartening to see them, and it's very encouraging for us to see all this thing. Having said that, now when you're talking about, so conferences, yes, they have served a purpose of networking, and now we need to move forward. And in the informal conversation that we had earlier, we need to relook into how do we envision our conferences now. We have achieved a certain goal from our conferences. Now, where do we need to move forward? That needs to be thought. And I think in these conferences, we will find a way of how do we move forward and how do we actually contribute there. Secondly, I was just thinking that, when you're talking about quality, in these times of AI, please, honestly speaking, I might sound very pro AI, but I am. The thing is, in this time, it's all a matter of asking interesting, good questions. The rest is there. So what you need here as communication scholars is to ask those interesting questions. Think about out of the box things. Think about. So now the passion of doing something new without thinking that I can't do it because of my language thing or because of how do I organize myself. There is this AI. So I think in this time and age, if you're saying there is no passion, it's maybe something to do with the way we are teaching our students there and the way we are communicating to our colleagues. अगर हम उनको मक्खी पे मक्खी मारना ही सिखा रहे हैं तो एग्जैक्टली वही होगा जो भी हो रहा है. अगर हम उनको HSC की वजह से अपने हाथ पैर बंधना सिखा रहे हैं तो ऐसे ही होगा. तो लेट्स थिंक आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स. Encourage them to think differently, encourage them to be more passionate, and without passion, I think every institution is a failure. If we cannot bring passion and will in our educational institutions, in our pedagogies, in our curriculums, we are a failure.
Thank you, Dr. Bushra. We'll quickly move to questions. We can take only 2 questions. We'll break off for the Jummah prayer. And if you have more questions, please feel free to contact these panelists during the lunch break. So, and I request our panelists to keep their answers short, please, because of the time limitation. Rahman and then Dr. Mehnaz. Rahman, please go.
I just want to add, मैं ऐड करना चाहूँगा کہ ہمارے پاس تو اسپیس ہے 15 پیپر پبلش کرنے کے بعد, کیونکہ میں ینگ ہوں تو اگر 15 پبلش ہو جاتے ہیں تو وہ ریکوائرمنٹ TGC کی پوری ہو جاتی ہے. پھر ہماری ہمت ہے, وی ہیو ٹو اسٹرگل اور اچھا کر سکتے ہیں. اور یہ ایسے نہیں ہے میڈم, میں آپ کو سیکنڈ کروں گا کہ اگر MPhil اور PhD کی اسٹوڈنٹس ہیں تو میرے پاس تو BS کی اسٹوڈنٹس ہیں, ان کا کام اتنا اچھا ہوتا ہے کبھی کبھار کہ وہ جا کے Y کیٹیگری میں پبلش ہو جاتا ہے. سو تو ہم جب کام کر رہے ہوتے ہیں تو وہ اور زیادہ ہمیں نکارتا ہے. اور میں ایک اور میڈم بس جسٹ ایڈ کہ میڈم نے کہا کہ AI ہے تو AI آپ کو سپورٹ کرتا ہے. ڈیفینیٹلی وہ بہت زیادہ سپورٹ کرتا ہے. میں اپنے انالیسس جو SPSS نے کیے ہیں وہ ChatGPT میں ڈال دیتے ہیں اور اس کو کہہ دیتے ہیں کہ اس کا یہ والا پورشن بنا کے دے دو تو وہ دے دیتا ہے. کیونکہ آپ چارٹ کاپی کرتے ہیں, آپ ٹیبل کاپی کرتے ہیں, باقی انالیسس تو آپ نے لکھنے ہیں لیکن آپ اس کو سمجھاتے ہیں تو وہ آپ کو کرتا ہے. تو اٹس مائی کمنٹس. جی
بالکل صحیح کہہ رہے ہیں آپ. اس پہ آپ کی کمانڈ ہونی چاہیے, آپ پرومپٹ اس کو ٹھیک دیں تو وہ کر دیتا ہے. تو دیٹ کین سیو یور ٹائم. اور بہت آپ نے صحیح کہا کہ وین یو گیٹ دا نمبر آف دا آرٹیکلز وچ آر نیڈیڈ فار دا پروموشن, پھر پلیز پیشن کی. میں نے وہی بات کی کہ ہم وہ ٹائم گزار چکے تھے. ناؤ ہمارے اسٹوڈنٹس دے آر ورکنگ. آپ ان کے اندر آپ ایک ہماری کوشش ہوتی ہے کہ دے شوڈ گو ود دا ڈیفیکلٹ ٹائپ آف ٹاپکس, لیکن موسٹلی ان کا ہوتا ہے کہ نہیں ڈگری ڈیلے, ان کی اپنی جو ہے پرابلمس ہیں. تو اس لیے فنڈڈ پروجیکٹس اس طرح کی چیزیں جو ہیں دیٹ شوڈ کم اپ ان دا انسٹیٹیوشنس. آپ اس پہ فوکس جو ہے وہ زیادہ کرنے کی ضرورت ہوتی ہے. اور سیکنڈلی ایک چیز اور میں ڈاکٹر فراست with reference to the conferences, because at the end of the conference you are going to present the recommendations based on that particular conference we were going through. That recommendations matters a lot. کوئی مسئلہ نہیں ہے اگر سب آئے ہیں and they are having their selfies and they are enjoying. They with enjoyment they are also learning. So I always say that you should have a connectivity, you have the chat with everyone and try to learn. In this way you can have the consortiums, in this way you can promote the teamwork. So conferences are very, very important, and particularly sometimes workshops, they are very, very important. And in this way at the end of the conference or the workshop, the recommendations, if you're going to implement the recommendations, definitely we will be able to have proper outcome because of these recommendations in the research field of research.
Ranjum, we have a question from Dr. Mehnaz, and that's going to be last questions. My apologies for the rush, but like I said, you can continue with the Q&A during the lunch break. And please be back at 2:30 sharp, because that's when we'll connect to the regional hub in New Zealand. Dr. Mehnaz.
Okay, thank you so much. My question is basically what Madam said, but the thing is that when I was studying, I started reading the theories of agenda setting, framing, and that's like a decade ago. And after a decade, when I come because I belong to the management background, I came to the communication community. And the other day I was looking at the thesis in my university and I found the same theories: framing, agenda setting, gatekeeping, priming. And I was like, and as you said, like positivist paradigms they were working on. And I was like talking to one of the professor and I said, why are you not coming out of it? Why are you not shifting to the other paradigms? Why are you not using the other methodologies? And they said that because that's what we are known for. This is our classic work. And this is, okay, they are going to do, the researches are framing in this particular newspaper, framing of this issue in this particular newspaper. So what? What are we going to tell? Okay, that's how the Dawn has framed. That's how the Express has framed. So what? As Madam said, like, why? So we all are sitting here, the communication, and we are like in not all of us like in the beginning stage. We are either in the middle stage or maybe in the later stages of our academics. So my question is that how can a professor who's known for his classic work leaves that and go to the something else and bring that shift? How can we do that?
Professor and as a teacher. As a teacher, if you're not growing, I mean, as a professor, when somebody comes to me and asks me, madam, this energy or whatever, I said it comes from you. It's the youth. So when as a teacher, when you're surrounded with young minds all the time, how can you fail not to come up with new ideas and not to become contemporary? How can you? Still waters are stagnant. I mean, they say they're deep water, so we need to do that. I mean, this is like not coming out of your comfort zones. We as teachers need to come out of our comfort zones. I mean, I at the age of little more than 60 now, if I am thinking and I'm trying to learn, so if I am thinking, because the new 60s are the 40s, so the thing is, if I am trying to learn the latest AI tools, I want to know the contemporary theories about social media. I mean, there is no reason for any professor or any teacher to say that this is my forte and I'm not going to get out of it. You've got to think big. You've got to think young. You've got to be more contemporary. Otherwise, to phir life sort of, I mean, you are just kitna khatam kar rahe hain aap communicate. Aur aaj hum mashallah se jo baithe hue hain, thank you Dr. Farasat and thank you FCC and School of Media and Mass Communication, that this is the need of the time. When we are all sitting here together, we are supposed to be thinking, how are we going to move forward? And it is always ek aur ek 11. And honestly speaking, the silos that we have been earlier in our अपने डिपार्टमेंट्स में, हम एज टीचर्स भी हम साइलोज में रहते हैं, ये लेट अलोन हम दूसरे डिपार्टमेंट के साथ यूनिवर्सिटीज में, फिर उसके बाद फिर हम अपनी दूसरी यूनिवर्सिटीज दूसरे डिपार्टमेंट के साथ हम नहीं मिल रहे हैं. और अनफॉर्चुनेटली अगर हमारी यूनिवर्सिटीज के वीसीज जो है वो हमारी यूनिवर्सिटीज के साथ नहीं साइन कर रहे, तो यू गेट अप एंड साइन. सो दैट्स वेयर आई से दैट द एजेंसी जो है ना, जो क्रिटिकल पैराडाइम का जो है कि यार वी आर वेरी वेरी empowered people, we are very creative people. All that we need to do is just get up and do it. So let's become, I'm so sorry, last thing, let's not be a nation of cynics and critics. Let's be doers now. This is the time to collaborate, to synergize and work. This is not the time to criticize and do.
I see a lot of interest of panelists, of audience in this area. We can talk more about these things during the lunch break. Dr. Altaf, before drawing it to a close, I would like you to give one final comment, and also you can end the panel discussion.
The last, I'm really appreciative of that. It's okay. So I think I'll just say the way I had my career, like it's 35 years. So you work on something, and how do you do that? Like, I think for academics, and especially for journalism academics, I always say journalism academics because I don't see mass communication as a discipline. With all due respect, it was journalism. Then research on journalism brought in mass communication, communication studies. And I heard the other day that that HEC says that every department should be communication studies. Like, that's, I won't comment on that, but I hope this doesn't happen. So I think we have two major audiences. Like, one of them is the people, society that invests in universities. We have a specific job we have to keep in mind. When we come into this profession, our job is basically help people make informed decisions. One of the leading researches in the 50s, which is kind of diffusion of innovations, is still very important since the 50s. Why? Because it measured voting behavior. It gave people something that we are still using. Who do I vote to? Like, and this is how what it gives the politicians, if they are honest enough, a review of what people think, and it also gives the people, the public, how the political process is going. So one of the responsibilities of our job is basically, if you are even adding to numbers, whatever methodologies you are using, whatever theories you have, it's keep in mind that your job is to help people make informed decisions. Then we have a second responsibility, which is towards practical journalism. And it's a two-way street when it comes to practical journalism. No communication studies journalism department can ever keep pace with developments in journalism. It's not possible. But you will always try. You will engage. Like Raza was here, Junaid is here, many other colleagues who have 1 foot in each areas are here. So I think that's a very good opportunity to do research. It's not about theories that you use. It's not about methods you adopt. That's all secondary. The most important thing is, what's our responsibility? So our responsibility, to sum it up, is towards society, to help to create literature that basically help people make informed decisions. At the same time, our job is to help journalism, or to give journalism certain insights into how public behavior would be, how journalism could be made better. And it's a two-way process. They'll tell us, we'll tell them, and our researchers should focus on that. That's how I have worked all these years, and that might be the reason that I didn't work in one specific area. So I'm not going to leave any legacy at all, and I'm happy with that. Thank you.
What a good way to end our panel discussion, that help our folks take informed decisions. Thank you. I would like to say thanks to our esteemed panelists. We'll now break off for the lunch break, and we'll be back at 2:30 p.m. sharp. Thank you very much, folks.